points and assist record for a season. That's not going to be broken by Gino's player who doesn't actually believe is better than Caitlin Clark. Let's be completely honest. Let's be completely honest. I am genuinely I'm actually shocked that they were trying to work her up. And the fact is that there could be.
The Indiana Fever have confirmed that Caitlin Clark will not return this season. This announcement represents a major blow to both the franchise and the entire women's basketball league. The situation creates significant problems that extend far beyond just one team's roster. Critics have questioned Clark's ability to compete at the professional level, but this overlooks her remarkable debut year performance. During her first season, she established new records for rookie scoring and assists that remain unmatched. Those achievements demonstrate her capability despite what doubters claim. The circumstances surrounding her absence remain unclear and troubling.
Fact is that there might not be a 2027 season. I think I'll talk about it a little bit later on this live stream. My assumption is she'll play in Unrivaled. Because she's not going to take a year and 8 months, 20 months off basketball, realistically. I just don't think that's going to happen. However,
multiple scenarios could explain the situation. Perhaps the medical staff believed she might recover, but her condition worsened, or maybe the initial injury assessment was incorrect. Another possibility involves undisclosed complications that weren't revealed publicly. The lack of transparency makes the entire situation confusing. Without Clark available, the team will likely struggle significantly in upcoming playoff competition. The roster now relies heavily on players like Odyssey Sims and other guards who may not provide the same level of performance. Most analysts expect early elimination from postseason play regardless of their seeding position. Clark's absence creates broader implications for the sport's financial landscape.
However, this is a tough one because we don't know if Caitlin Clark was we don't know if she was ready to come back and they didn't want her. We don't know if they were lying all along. We don't know if it was a case where they thought maybe she could get back and she just couldn't.
Her popularity drives attendance and television viewership in ways that other players simply cannot match. Supporters travel specifically to watch her compete, and remarkably, they even attend games just to see her on the sidelines. This unique drawing power cannot be easily replaced. The timing raises questions about whether Clark will participate in alternative competitions during her recovery period. Options include leagues like Unrivaled or Athletes Unlimited, since avoiding basketball entirely for nearly 2 years seems unlikely for someone at her competitive level. Other emerging leagues with significant financial backing might also pursue her services. League officials and players lose considerable negotiating strength without Clark's presence guaranteeing audience engagement.
Back and she just couldn't. But that's unlikely given the diagnosis that we were given of the injury, or maybe it was a more serious injury that we weren't told about. And if that's the case, why the fuck were they not tanking? Nothing about this makes sense. Nothing about this entire situation makes sense. Nothing about this.
Her involvement provided leverage in discussions about salaries, working conditions, and league expansion. That bargaining power disappears when the sport's biggest attraction cannot participate. The current attendance figures and television ratings reflect Clark's impact more than any other single factor. Removing her from competition threatens to return the league to previous viewership levels that were substantially lower. This reality affects everyone involved, from ownership groups to veteran players who benefited from increased attention. Expansion efforts, including new franchises in markets like San Francisco, may still succeed due to other factors. However, the guaranteed excitement that Clark brings to any matchup will be missing.
Nothing about this made sense from second one. Nothing about the way this injury happened made any sense. And I genuinely think, look, I think when it's all said and done, we see Caitlin Clark before next season. I don't know if it'll be in Unrivaled. I don't know if it'll be in Athletes Unlimited. I don't know.
The Golden State Valkyries and similar new teams were counting on her star power to help establish their fan bases. Looking ahead to playoff scenarios, the Fever face an uphill battle against more complete rosters. Even reaching the postseason appears challenging given their current lineup limitations. Teams like the Sparks, Dream, and Mercury all present difficult matchups that become nearly impossible without Clark's contributions. The injury situation highlights how quickly circumstances can change in professional sports. What seemed like a minor setback has evolved into a season-ending absence that affects multiple stakeholders. Recovery timelines remain uncertain, adding to the overall uncertainty surrounding her return.
Being Athletes Unlimited, I don't know if, for example, maybe the Maverick Carter League sets up something and they end up overpaying basically all the best players not in Unrivaled, end up getting paid a shitload of money to go play in that league that he's setting up, that is being funded. And if Caitlin Clark's there, you better believe a solid 50% of the Unrivaled players will go there. But there's no way that Caitlin Clark does not play basketball. There is no way that she doesn't play basketball. It doesn't have to.
For now, the basketball world must adjust to competing without its most compelling attraction. The ripple effects will be felt in arenas, television ratings, and business discussions throughout the remainder of the campaign. Everyone involved hopes for a complete recovery, but the immediate future looks substantially different without Clark's participation. The Angel Reese situation has reached extraordinary levels of drama. The developments unfolded just hours earlier, creating a scenario that seemed unlikely to occur, particularly in such a public manner. This incident perfectly encapsulates the ongoing issues surrounding Reese's approach to team dynamics. While holding teammates accountable remains important, and such discussions typically belong behind closed doors, conducting this publicly essentially destroys locker room chemistry.
Has to be Unrivaled, it'll be somewhere. But there's no way that she does not play basketball for for essentially 2 years. For essentially 2 years. The tickets have been sold out for months. I don't know if I believe in the conspiracy that they were stalling it. Because am I right in saying tomorrow is their last game? Am I right in saying that?
Reese deserves recognition for pressuring the front office, but the method employed proves problematic. Critics might argue the organization could have acted during the previous season, but their options were limited. Reese desired players with championship experience and competitive drive. The team acquired Ariel Atkins, trading away their draft pick for her services. However, Reese's public statements essentially dismissed everyone except Camila Cardoso as inadequate. Interestingly, statistical analysis reveals that Reese and Cardoso don't function well together on court. Their combined net rating suggests they lack the chemistry necessary for championship-level success.
Am I right in saying that? And tomorrow was the last game of the season? The last home game of the season? But, like, we're now looking at a situation where we are going into the playoffs with Odyssey Sims and Shea Petty. So they have 2 more home games. Okay. We're going into the playoffs with Odyssey Sims and Shea Petty as, as our point guards.
Reese appears determined to rebuild the entire roster around this partnership. Examining the current personnel objectively, Hailey Van Lith struggles significantly and appears below WNBA starting standards. Rachel Banham serves adequately as a 10th player option.
She wanted players that have, won championships and are competing, and they brought in Ariel Atkins. They got rid of their pick for Ariel Atkins. And she's essentially said, you're all shit other than Camilla. And ironically, net rating wise, Angel and Camilla is not a good combo. They clearly won't ever win playing together. And she's actually trying to get rid of the entire team. When I mean this when I say this, Hailey Van Lith stinks. She absolutely stinks.
The franchise has struggled both with and without Vandersloot at the helm. Performance metrics show the team performs poorly regardless of Reese's presence, though they demonstrate marginally better results when she plays. Reese and Atkins form the team's top talent pairing. Cardoso presents interesting dynamics. Her individual statistics directly correlate with team success. Without strong personal numbers, she becomes a liability, particularly on defense where she consistently allows significant scoring. Reese, conversely, can impact games positively even without impressive individual statistics. Recent reporting from Front Office Sports through journalist Annie Costabile highlighted Reese's comments about needing someone younger willing to compete for championships with previous experience. This request presents significant challenges when examining available point guards with championship pedigree.
When I say this, Hailey Van Lith stinks. She absolutely stinks. Rachel Bannum's fine as your 10th player. Beck Allen's good. Beck Allen's good as your worst starter. Good bench player. Ariel Atkins is a starter on a championship winning team level player. Ariel Atkins is super. So I'm just trying to think, like, they just need a guard. They need a guard, and they were set on Courtney Vandersloot. And she essentially just said, yeah, we can't expect Courtney Vandersloot to come back.
Reviewing championship-winning point guards from recent seasons reveals limited options. Chelsea Gray lacks mobility due to injuries. Sabrina Ionescu remains unavailable via trade. Previous winners include Vandersloot herself, Sue Bird, and Natasha Cloud. Cloud represents the only realistic target, though her departure from New York seems unlikely. The search becomes even more complicated when considering backup options.
We can't expect Courtney Vandersloot to come back. And they sucked with Courtney Vandersloot. They suck without Courtney Vandersloot. They suck with Angel Reese. They suck without Angel Reese. They do suck significantly less with Angel Reese than without Angel Reese. I will say that. They suck significantly less with her than without her. But, like, she's the 1A, 1B with Ariel Atkins. Camila Cardoso. There is a correlation between Camila Cardoso's point. Like, the problem with Camila Cardoso is there's a direct correlation between her points and winning.
Championship teams rarely relied on backup point guards for significant contributions. Ironically, Vandersloot herself represents one of the better backup options among championship teams. Reports indicate Reese explicitly criticized Rachel Bannum and Hailey Van Lith as incapable of leading playoff success. This assessment appears accurate but demonstrates poor judgment in public forums. Atkins, another teammate with championship experience, should satisfy Reese's criteria if her standards remain consistent. Team management acknowledged the situation while stating they're addressing it internally. Multiple sources confirm teammates feel upset about the direct public criticism.
Camila Cardoso there's a direct correlation between her points and winning. And this is the thing where it's like, if she's not putting up big stats, she is a net negative for the team. Whereas in Angel's defense, she can still be a huge impact player without putting up big stats. Whereas Camila has to put up big stats, otherwise she brings nothing because she gives up 20 points on the defensive end. But you've seen this from Front Office Sports. This is from Annie Costabile, an actual, journalist who's being hired for jobs because of it. But said, talking about two-time Courtney Vandersloot, Reese said the team needs someone a little younger and willing to compete for a championship and has done.
A team meeting has been scheduled where players plan to confront Reese directly about her comments. The Chicago Sky undoubtedly face organizational challenges. Previous reporting identified them among the league's worst-run franchises. Ownership lagged behind in facility improvements, though recent commitments address these deficiencies. Reese believes the roster requires complete reconstruction around just two players, herself and Cardoso. This approach creates fundamental problems since both players appear to limit each other's effectiveness.
Willing to compete for a championship and has done it before. How many starting level point guards have won championships? So let's go back. That is younger. Chelsea Gray is younger than Sloop, which can't really move. Then we go back to 2021, where it's Courtney Vandersloot. So 2024 is Sabrina. She's going nowhere. You go back to 2021, it's Courtney Vandersloot. 2020, you got Sue Bird.
The organization must choose between building around one or the other, as their combined presence prevents either from reaching peak performance. Historical examples support this concern. Alyssa Thomas achieved her best seasons when not playing alongside Brianna Jones, whose paint presence limited Thomas's effectiveness. Similarly, maximizing Reese's potential requires floor spacing players like Azura Stevens or Ryan Howard. Building around Cardoso would necessitate trading Reese. Reese's public comments have damaged her trade value by demonstrating potential locker room disruption when situations deteriorate.
Like 2019. Who the fuck was 2019? Is that Ariel Atkins? I kid you not. Is that Ariel Atkins that started for the Washington Mystics? Was it Ariel Atkins that started for the Mystics at the one? Or Kira Leslie? Could it have been Kira Leslie? I need to just check a box score to see who started that game.
Teams will now weigh her on-court contributions against possible off-court complications. Multiple league executives characterize Reese's public teammate criticism as unprecedented. While internal roster discussions occur regularly, players rarely air such grievances publicly. League sources acknowledge Reese's motor, rebounding, and defensive abilities while noting that franchises will evaluate her court performance against her conduct. In Chicago, Reese inherited leadership of a struggling franchise. The Sky finished 13-27 during her rookie season, missing playoffs for the first time in 6 years.
The Mystics against the Connecticut Sun. The box scores aren't even there. But I'm trying to just see if I can find assists. Oh, sorry, Natasha Cloud. So basically, Natasha Cloud is the only player. Sorry, I was looking through the rosters and completely missed that Natasha Cloud was there. They had Natasha Cloud. Natasha Cloud obviously was the starting point guard. But like, guards that are younger that have won championships. Cloud's not leaving the Liberty. She's not going to leave New York. Natasha Cloud would be a good player to have beside Angel Reese.
While expectations were low, Kelsey Mitchell's performance elevated results beyond projections. Reese performed exceptionally through approximately 20 games before experiencing a difficult season conclusion. Some sources believe Reese's relationship with Chicago may be irreparable. Despite claims of commitment, her public demands for coaching and personnel changes suggest otherwise. The situation resembles classic player power struggles, where individuals attempt to control organizational decisions. The core issue extends beyond coaching problems.
She's not going to leave New York. Natasha Cloud would be a good player to have beside Angel Reese. I assume she's not talking about the point fraud. It was Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray just makes hard pass look good. But obviously it says here, Leyendell and Sylvia Fowles were two of the first franchise stars to force their way out. 2021 Finals MVP Kat Copper was another. Marina Mabry forced a mid-season trade. Now Angel Reese is publicly expressing her dissatisfaction with state of the franchise. Unlike all those players, all who had championship experience except Mabry, Reese.
While Tyler Marsh may not represent elite coaching talent, he's not incompetent either. The franchise faced identical struggles under previous coach Teresa Weatherspoon. Team injuries, lack of point guard depth, and roster construction created systematic problems. Last season's improved performance resulted largely from Kelsey Mitchell's presence. Mitchell ranked among the league's top 5 guards, and arguably challenged Caitlin Clark for Rookie of the Year consideration through 2/3 of the season. Clark ultimately separated herself post-All-Star break, becoming the league's premier player.